The Atlanta Police Department confirmed that YouTuber Kevin Samuels was found unresponsive in his apartment yesterday. A woman identified as a nurse told officials at the scene that she met Kevin on the night of May 4th, went to his apartment and spent the night with him. On the morning of May 5th, the woman says Kevin complained of chest pains, and when she tried to help him, he fell on top of her. She then called 911. Samuel's mother confirmed his passing earlier today, which was pretty sad because she found out on social media. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Are y'all shocked by the news? And did you believe they were rumors, or did you think it was true when it happened?
I guess I'll take this. Well, when it first happened, I thought there was so much coverage around it that there had to be some resemblance of some truth around it because, if we really think about it, he went from nothing. Like, I think he started his YouTube channel in 2019, but 2021 he really started to get traction. In less than a year, he had over 1,000,004 followers. So he really kind of injected himself into pop culture as well as being this, sensational celebrity YouTuber, internet star, right? So to see him like die, and I'm just now getting to know him because I just honestly, if I'm honest, just got familiar with him in the last 10 or so months. To see him die so quick, I was just like, wow, life is really short.
What about the report that he's with a white woman?
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
She appeared to be Latina.
also,
I'm gonna say this. There's been a lot of conversation today in the media about his death. A lot of people are, commenting on how people are seemingly taking delight. Some people don't care. Other people are of the opinion, it's somebody that died. Y'all shouldn't be taking delight. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't care that Kevin Samuels died. I straight up honestly do not care. And I think that expecting people to take the moral high ground in this situation, when he joyfully and willfully terrorized so many Black women, feeding them abuse under the guise of truth, is just a bunch of BS. There's no moral high ground here for me to take. I honestly don't care. I feel bad for his mom. But as far as he's concerned, I could honestly care less.
I'm of the agree. I agree. When people all of a sudden, when people are hated or have strong opinions about people, we all talk about people, okay? And we have our opinions about people based on their actions. And because they die, does that mean that they are just, they are free and clear? Do they get a fresh stamp? I mean, I didn't hate him. I didn't love him. I thought he was entertaining sometimes, and I respected what he did. What he built, I really do. And he's a different perspective. And I think we do need to have different voices on social media. We do. That is a fact. We can't just all be the same and in agreement. And he did stir the pot. But the way people are policing Black women, how we should feel in trying to check women that don't have the sympathy for him. I mean, you shouldn't be celebrating and dancing on his grave, but stop trying to tell Black women how they should feel about this. And you should stop and all this nonsense.
Can we really unpack this for a second? There are a couple of things that you said there that I agree with, and one was I'm sorry, I just feel you should never celebrate another person's death. He is still somebody's brother, somebody's wife, husband, someone's son, someone's cousin. So I do feel that. But can we unpack this? Because let me tell you what really shocked me. What really shocked me about this is I studied his analytics on his social media platform, right? And like I shared, he had 1.4 million followers. Do you know that 70% of those followers were female, Black females? When you look at the demographics of his analytics, 70+% were Black females. And that just blew my mind because from his analytics, they showed how much he made from Black females following and supporting his podcast, and it was north of $3 million. So can someone help me understand a person who made a career out of shamelessly disgracing Black women, which is horrible? Why was 75% of his followers Black females, and why were they purchasing or following and supporting his content to the tune of $3+ million?
So Kevin Samuel didn't start off the way he finished. he started off really actually being critical and holding Black men accountable. And but that wasn't getting the traction because we all know the consumers are mostly women, of entertainment on social media and all that kind of stuff. So when he started switching it to be a little bit more combative to Black women, his numbers went through the roof. And I'm going to say this. I used to listen to I don't know if you guys remember Tom Leykis. He was this misogynistic white man in LA, and he would say the most disrespectful things. We can still listen to you, maybe not like what you say, but it's almost like Howard Stern. He had 50% hate and 50% like, and as much as people try to say Black women hated him, they actually sure by what your research is saying, they certainly did support his podcast.
Right. That was just weird to me.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people followed him because a lot of what he said was valid. I'm going to be more than fair. More times than not, what he was saying was valid. It was always the delivery.
Right.
Because it was always the delivery. But more times than not, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people tuned in because they actually were able to digest the advice that he was giving. He did give solid advice. He did tell the truth. It was just how he told the truth. And honesty without compassion is brutality. He was brutal. It was beyond evident that this man had a hate for white women. A hate for Black women in life. And he proved that in death. Look at who he died with.
Yeah. I
he was a Latina. You know what I'm saying? So he, in my opinion, proved more times than not that he just did not like Black women. His work was abusive. And
he made a lot of money. He made a lot of money off of the back of those Black women, which is weird to me.
So do all of our rappers. And they can't say one positive thing about us. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like how things are now. I will say this. I will give him his props with this. He would tell people to be realistic in their expectations. And this is one thing I do talk to some of my female friends. I used to, but now I don't have to because my friends are all leveled up. Like, you can't have all these outrageous demands if you're not really bringing much to the table. I agree with him on that. Be realistic. But when he sits there and tells women they're an adjustable 6, and I'm like, Kevin, this ain't even what you liking right now. I don't think, but whatever. It was rude how he would say. It was brutal, but
It was embarrassing. It was condescending. It was rude. These people were calling for guidance, and what they got was garbage. You know what I'm saying? They were calling because their life was in a situation where they needed help. They needed some instruction. And what you did is you beat them down on a public platform. I could not imagine being some of those women having to go back to work the next day and everybody at your job is looking and laughing and whispering about you because you're the woman that got berated on his show the night before.
He definitely did stuff for clout. And he also, one thing he did say that, let's not be so hard on the people that are not feeling, sympathetic towards him. He also said he didn't believe a lot of sexual assault victims. Sexual abuse kids. He said, because kids lie all the time. And I thought that was a very reckless statement to make, a very blanket statement to make. When he didn't like people making blanket statements about him and his sexuality, there was a lot of people that were kind of calling that into question. People didn't like that, but maybe you might want to watch the things you said about sexual abuse and molested children. I don't know.
You want to know one other thing, Claudia, since we're letting this topic breathe. There was one other thing I extrapolated from this Kevin Samuels death situation. He represented a subsection of Black men over there in the corner that felt voiceless, right? Because we even talked about this on the radio today. And there were a lot of Black men that hailed him as a hero, for lack of a better term, that really agreed with his tactics, what he was saying, what he was doing. And I'm just curious to know the profile and the mental setup of the Black man that rallies behind Kevin Samuels. Because you want to say protect Black women, but I don't think that anything, if you're trying to protect Black women and you call yourself a Black king and a king of your castle, I don't think that you would agree with Kevin Samuels' tactics.
Nita Cummings says some Black women were supporting him because unfortunately there are Black women who take joy in hearing other women being degraded. That's a fair thing to say. And BM says, thank you, Q, for being that Black man that's standing with Black women with this. I do think he was the Pied Piper of F-boys. men that are like, yeah, take that. He's saying the things that I can't say as articulately. So he's our hero. He's our champion. He can like put these bitches in their place and tell them what I really want to tell them. He was very good at that. And, you know, love him or hate him, he did do that. And I rest in peace.
Ooh,
I feel bad for his family. I feel bad for his mom. And I felt, yeah, I mean, listen, we need these opposing voices to be around. I don't like that he died, but I didn't shed a tear for him.